In today's world, events are unfolding so rapidly that it can be incredibly difficult to predict. The course of events is sometimes incredibly difficult to predict. However, there are people who have the gift of seeing the future, and their predictions can be invaluable. Of such people is Mohsen Noruzi, the famous Iranian clairvoyant whose prophecies have repeatedly proven their accuracy in their predictions. He has repeatedly mentioned the global changes that await mankind in the near future. One of his most disturbing prophecies concerns the division of the world into new political and social formations, which he said would begin as soon as a week from now. In the near future, this division will affect not only individual countries but entire continents, changing the way of life of millions of people. In some future time, humanity will face serious challenges that will require patience and wisdom from each of us. He saw in his visions how different nations and states will fight for their place in the sun, and how this struggle will lead to significant changes in world politics. Much of what we believe to be unchanging will be called into question and unrecognizable. One of the key of the prophecies in the Rose prophecies is the reference to a global shortage of resources. He's saying that in the near future, humanity will face an acute shortage of fresh water, which will lead to numerous conflicts and crises. Water will become the new black gold, and the struggle for its sources will be at all levels, from international organizations to individual families. He warns that this is an inevitability for which we must prepare now to minimize possible losses. An equally important aspect of the predictions is changing climate conditions. The clairvoyant sees global warming continues to gain momentum, causing catastrophic changes in the ecosystems of our planet. These changes will lead to mass migration of people forced to leave their homes in search of more favorable living conditions. This in turn will create additional tension in international relations and cause new conflicts and crises. It is noteworthy that Naruza predicts not only negative events in his visions, he also sees hope for a bright future that awaits those who can adapt to new conditions and find the strength to overcome. He says that as a result of global changes, new opportunities for development and prosperity will arise, and those who are able to take advantage of these opportunities will be able to reach unprecedented heights. He also pays great attention to the spiritual development of mankind. Naruza is convinced that in the coming years many people will open new horizons of spiritual growth and find harmony with the world around them. This process will be accompanied by a change in values and priorities, when material goods will give way to spiritual pursuits and aspirations. The clairvoyant predicts that this will lead to the emergence of new forms of social structure based on mutual assistance, cooperation, and respect for nature. However, he warns against excessive optimism. He reminds that the path to a bright future will not be easy and will require great courage and determination from each of us. In his visions he sees the world sinking into chaos and confusion, and how only through joint efforts can we overcome these difficulties and reach a new level of development. The main role will be played by the younger generations. It is they who will become the engine of change, and their wisdom and foresight will determine how our world will be in the future. The clairvoyant encourages young people to become active citizens, to participate in the political and social life of their countries, to strive to change the world for the better. The clairvoyant's numerous prophecies cover all aspects of life, from the economy to ecology and spiritual development. In his visions he sees humanity entering a new age full of challenges and opportunities. He urges us not to be afraid of these changes, but to face them with an open heart and a clear mind, ready for the challenges and joys of the new times. He also emphasizes the importance of unity and cooperation. The world is on the threshold of new discoveries and challenges, and it is up to us to cope with them. The clairvoyant urges us to be ready for any twists and turns of fate and not to lose hope for a better future. He also focuses on the health and well-being of people. In his visions, he sees how new diseases and epidemics can become a threat to the health and well-being of people. He warns that global changes in ecology and climate could lead to new viruses and bacteria that will spread at an unprecedented rate, and that only through international cooperation and knowledge sharing will we be able to deal with these threats and ensure the health and safety of all. The clairvoyant warns that action must be taken now to reduce this gap in order to ensure equality and justice for all people regardless of their social status or background. As we listen to Naruza's prediction, we realize that the world is on the cusp of great changes. The clairvoyant reminds us that only through unity, cooperation and spiritual growth can we overcome all challenges and achieve a bright future. His view of the future of mankind is not just a prediction but a call to action for awareness and wisdom. Awareness and wisdom, he shows us that in spite of all difficulties and trials we have a chance to create a better world for ourselves and our descendants.